Alright, so this week's chapter of Fairy Tail, we finally get to see the true identity. It has been revealed of who Eileen is to Urza, and it was like pretty much the more favorable option that Eileen is Urza's mother, and it came true. And there was a lot of people saying it was her sister, herself from another timeline, from the future, but no, it ended up being her mother, and so we finally get clarification on that. So we had a bit of a Star Wars moment here in Fairy Tail with Urza and Eileen. Eileen saying, "I am your mother" in place of father. Urza's like, "No, that's impossible." Because she was saying that in her childhood, when she was growing up in her little village, that she didn't have any parents there and had no memories or even dreams of who they were. No real clue as to what they looked like even. So you can understand that this bombshell that Eileen dropped on her pretty much messed her up. And I mean, even Wendy saw the resemblance between the two and tried to figure out to connect the dots. And until Eileen said so, everyone was still wondering who she was. Now, of course, Urza denied her being her actual parent, stating that, you know, the Master's always been there for her. That's the only parent she's had in her life, and that's the only one she looked up to. And that anyone who is against Fairy Tail, the whole yada yada, they're my enemy. And Eileen pretty much agrees with her. She's on the Alvarez Empire side, and anyone who goes against Alvarez has to be squashed like the bugs they are. So this part kind of reminded me when Laxus took on his own father who created Raventail to destroy Fairy Tail, you know. He's not in the guild, he's like, he went against it, so, you know, we're gonna be enemies, and it's pretty much just like whole child versus parent deal again here. Now earlier on with the chapter between Urza and Eileen, we see them duking it out. Urza's giving Eileen everything she's got, especially with Wendy backing her up with her support magic. But in the end, it was just like, it didn't do anything to her. So Eileen, for the most part, at the moment, hopefully keeps going, is showing that she is still a badass of the top two now of the Spriggan 12. Hopefully August can keep that title as well. But for now, Eileen just like pretty much toying with Urza, just like pretty much creating that circle flower. And in a translator's note, it said that circle flower was pretty much saying, "Hey, good job, you're doing all right." But it was kind of like, in a sense, a mockery to Urza, since she's here giving it all, and Eileen just toying with her. It's probably in her mind going, "So this is the best my daughter can do, I'm not impressed." And of course, earlier on back in the chapter, we see everyone recovering from the Rockhide and Sting fight. Everyone's waking up saying, "Yay, we did it, we beat Rockhide," and all that. And pretty much Sting and Rogue on the ground saying, "Okay, we're tapped out, it's up to you, Fairy Tail." So while they did take out Rockhide, that's pretty much what's going on with them right now. I think we'll be seeing them further on in the chapters or in the later of the Alvarez Empire arc. But that remains to be seen. Maybe they'll get a little bit of a boost and come help later on. But for now, they're down for the count. And of course we see a moment between Minerva and Kagura. So, you know, they had their differences and pretty much Minerva kind of fucked up Kagura back in the Grand Magic games, but she's saying it's all water under the bridge now. I'm not holding grudges anymore. So a little bit of, I guess you could say, development on her side, because usually since her main goal was to take down Jalal and anyone who stood in her way, and pretty much Minerva was pretty much toying with her. She had a good reason to hold a grudge, but at the same time, it's like she just got rid of it out of nowhere. Oh well. Everyone's got to forgive each other every now and then, especially here in Fairy Tail. If you're mortal enemies and you almost killed each other, but oh well. But once again, and once again, and once again, let's talk about that ending. Eileen's bombshell of an announcement. We see her last name, Belsirion, and it's just what she says after that that really makes you wonder what the hell is actually going on here. And she claims that she is the Queen of the Dragons. The Queen of the Dragons. To be more exact, former Queen of the Dragons. Now, that could possibly explain why Acnologia actually acknowledged her and her powers and her abilities and actually went into battle mode against her. That explains why maybe Eileen has that cocky attitude of hers and pretty much states that she could be the one to take down Acnologia. There's a lot of speculation on that. Now, for the reason why she calls herself the former Queen of the Dragons, I'm wondering if she came from the past and brought Urza with her to the future, something along the lines of that. Maybe she got pregnant in the past and pretty much went to the future, or somewhere along the line lost Urza, or thinks she lost Urza, and that's how they got separated. But she goes on to pretty much say that she didn't care whether or not Urza lived or died, but now that she's alive, she just might as well deal with it. So it's kind of wondering, is Urza part dragon as well? Because maybe being the Queen of the Dragons means Eileen got it on with the human form dragon slayer kind of deal. Maybe that's what their connection is. Maybe that's just wild ass theory. But we know that the dragons were alive way long time ago. before it ended, we know Natsu and all the Dragon Slayers came in through a time warp, time skip and all that. They got sent to the future, which is the present at the moment. So Eileen, it's not too much of a far-fetched to say that she was in that time period as well and got brought to the future along with them in some sort of weird coincidental kind of thing. Could maybe her and Acnologia have met in the past a long time ago, or is that their first time meeting back on the battlefield before she released Universe 1? It's just a whole lot of crazy speculation, crazy theories going on right now, but with Eileen pretty much showing herself and who she is and pretty much confirming that she's Urza's mother, this chapter was pretty damn awesome in that respect. Everything else from the first half with the fighting and pretty much seeing actually the recovery from Sting and Rockeye was pretty much okay. The fighting was pretty cool. Pretty much seeing Eileen mess with Urza and pretty much revealing that she is Urza's mother and queen of the former queen of dragons. Oh, I gotta give this pretty solid 7.5 because it had a bit of a slow start with the whole Sting Rockeye thing. Then it picked up when we saw fighting with Urza and Eileen and the bombshell at the ending of the chapter. Pretty awesome stuff. Looking forward to the next chapter. What do you think? What do you think is going on? Who is Eileen to you in that sense of whether she's from the past or she's a mage from the present? It's just, what are your thoughts? I want to know. Anyway, this is Nigel Esker signing out. Later.